10 worst weaknesses of the best shonen characters. If you want to know this, stay with me until the end of the video. Shonen anime features strong, lovable characters with stellar personalities and incredible powers. These legendary characters inspire others and defeat evil forces, but also have flaws and weaknesses. These weaknesses keep characters grounded and balanced, allowing them to grow and improve over time. Facing and overcoming weaknesses is a key part of storytelling in shonen anime. 10. Naruto Uzumaki, Recklessness. Protagonist Naruto Uzumaki from the Naruto anime is a bold, headstrong, and recklessly brave hero like many shonen protagonists. This can be a strength in many cases, but it can also be a serious liability that gets Naruto into more trouble than he's ready for. This was especially true early on, when Naruto kept picking fights or jumping into danger without realizing what he's doing. One example was when he charged right into Haku's ice crystal mirror array without thinking. Naruto also annoyed everyone at the Chunin exams when he foolishly challenged everyone in the room with his words. 9. Ichigo Kurosaki, Fear. Ichigo Kurosaki, the substitute Soul Reaper hero of Bleach, wouldn't admit how afraid he was of his enemies or his own power. Sometimes, Ichigo was courageous and bold like a true shonen star, like running off to the Soul Society or Hukomundo to rescue his friends. But whenever a truly strong opponent arrived, Ichigo's courage falters. Ichigo was so afraid of Captain Kenpachi Zaraki, he couldn't even cut his opponent when their duel started. Worst of all, Ichigo feared his own inner hollow and the dark, primal power it represented. That fear cost him 2 battles against the Arankas until he finally conquered his fear while training with the Viswords in their hideout. 8. Monkey D. Luffy, Seawater. All Devil Fruit users in the One Piece anime share an ironic weakness, seawater. Even pirate captains are highly vulnerable in seawater if they have eaten the Devil Fruit, such as Buggy the Clown and protagonist Monkey D. Luffy. Devil Fruit users lose all their powers in seawater, and become so weak they will soon drown. Luffy is like that too, and a few times in One Piece, he nearly died because of this built-in weakness of his gum fruit. Similarly, the Sea Prism Stone will negate Luffy's powers and make him weak, which the guards in Impel Down took full advantage of. Luffy has also been trapped in cages made of the Sea Prism Stone, making escape impossible without help. 7. Izuku Midoriya, Overusing One for All. Izuku Midoriya once thought that being born quirkless was his biggest weakness in My Hero Academia's story. Instead, being naturally quirkless meant he could more easily embrace One for All, while overusing or misusing that quirk is his real worst weakness. Izuku would have fallen to his death in that entrance exam after using OFO if he didn't get help. He also badly injured his arms and scarred his arms with excessive use of his new quirk. Izuku was warned that if he kept it up, his arms would be permanently ruined, so Izuku finally learned to use other training methods and avoid his destructive weakness. 6. Tanjiro Kamado, His Honesty. Most of Tanjiro Kamado's physical weaknesses are typical of most human characters in Demon Slayer. Like most slayers, Tanjiro cannot regenerate his flesh or use supernatural abilities, which puts him at a disadvantage when fighting demons. On a more personal level, Tanjiro's big weakness is mild but surprising, his excessive honesty. Tanjiro is honest to a fault, and cannot tell a lie to anyone. This rarely holds him back, but sometimes, he makes a fool of himself, and his friends are not impressed. This also means that if Tanjiro must keep someone's secret and is asked about it, he's likely to give himself away. 5. Denji, Blood Loss. Denji became the part devil hero Chainsaw Man early in Chainsaw Man's story, granting him many superhuman strengths. Denji can power up if he drinks blood, and he's far more durable than normal human beings. 2. Most of all, his chainsaw-themed powers make him deadly to most other devils. On the downside, Denji suffers frequent blood loss as a devil hunter, and even manifesting his chainsaws makes him bleed heavily. Blood loss almost cost Denji his fight against the Bat and Leech devils, for example, and he needed Aki Hayakawa to support him, or the day might have been lost. 4. Light Yagami, Hubris. Light Yagami had many strengths on his side throughout Death Note's story, which allowed this genius high schooler to briefly become the ruler of his own gruesome kingdom around the world. Light had not just his towering intellect, but also solid acting skills, Misaramane's Shinigami eyes, and the Death Note at his disposal. Light's worst weakness, hubris, is why this all came crashing down. No human can rule the world, especially not with the power of murder, but Light was convinced the world was his to rule. His hubris also made him surprisingly vulnerable to L, who understood his psychological profile as a childish person who hates to lose. 3. Eren Yeager, Diplomacy. Attack on Titan's anti-hero, Eren Yeager, has always been a brute force character who lacks subtlety. His hot temper and reckless ways were a liability in earlier Attack on Titan storylines, but after the time skip, Eren's true worst weakness became clear: diplomacy. Eren is a bad negotiator, and his words usually just push people away. Eren was determined to destroy Marley and protect Paradise Island, and through shows of force, he convinced the Yeagerists to join him in this campaign. It was somewhat effective, but Eren's preference of force over diplomacy also alienated most of his key allies, and his words failed to change their minds. 2. Edward Elric, His Fragile Body. Edward Elric, a full-metal alchemist, Brotherhood fame, uses alchemy, the power of science, and resourceful thinking to win battles. He and his brother Alphonse are well-educated scientists who make resourceful use of everything around them, but unlike Al, Ed can't balance his book smarts with physical toughness. Ed may be a skilled martial artist, but his physical gifts are still limited. He isn't just short, Ed has limited stamina and endurance, meaning the homunculi and other foes can easily wear him down in a fight. This is why Ed aims to quickly win with clever tricks, because he will fall far behind if the fight drags on. 1. Yor Forger, Self-Doubt. Yor Forger is a popular waifu from the shonen anime Spy X family, and there's a lot about her to love. Yor is kind, caring, beautiful, funny, and a devoted foster mother in the Forger household, and she gets a lot of credit for that. However, Yor has terrible cooking skills and is a surprisingly sloppy parent, which hurts her self-esteem. Yor often doubts herself and her worthiness as a foster parent, which in turn makes her miserable, and that may upset Anya and Lloyd. 2. Yor can always motivate herself to try again, but even so, her insecurities as an assassin turned foster mom are always weighing her down. If you like this type of videos, be sure to subscribe.